All right, here we go again. Hmm. I love I love the coffee. I love my little daily indulgence and the start of another day. I feel like a new man. I gotta tell you, I feel like a new man after just one day of the squatty potty. One day, and I feel like a new man. And what's interesting is that in the comments of yesterday's video, there were a couple other people that have already had the squatty potty. And I found myself, wondering last night as I was falling asleep, why the hell didn't Todd tell me about the squatty potty? Todd got a squatty potty. but, uh, but no, no, seriously, I was going around yesterday and there were people here in Wimpyville coming up to me saying, something's different about you. I can't quite put my finger on it. I'm not quite sure, but you just don't seem the same as you did yesterday. And I said, well, because it's because I'm not full of shit. That's why. That's what you're noticing. You're noticing that I'm not full of shit anymore. But anyway, what's funny? Hmm, it's not as funny as much as it is interesting. Is that you know it always seems that when you're going through life, as you're going through life and you have different questions or different struggles and what have you, it's life's coincidences. That might be a good title for today's video. As I'm doing these, I'm multitasking as I do these videos because part of me is thinking, what's the title going to be, for the video? But life's coincidences, and I've always found it interesting that like when I sometimes I'll just take the Bible and I'll open it up to a random page, and it's interesting that oftentimes the passage or something in the Bible that I'll open it up to kind of really correlates. For those of you studying using my videos as an English as a second language, correlate, Correlate, correlate. But the passages will often correlate to a something that I'm experiencing in my life. And yesterday I took Dad to Costco. He wanted to, I thought he'd like to get out of the house. It was a cold day here. It was only in the probably upper 50s, low 60s, and Dad wanted to get out of the house, so I took Dad to Costco. And the whole time in doing so, I had this well, maybe not the whole time, but a good portion of the time of going to Costco, I had this conversation. I had had a conversation with one of my siblings earlier in the day, and it challenged me a little bit, as oftentimes when I talk to a sibling, one of my siblings, it does. That's a rare occasion when I talk to one of my siblings. But anyway, I found it challenging me a little bit, this conversation, and I won't go into too many details about what it was. But I'll call this sibling the little diplomat. This sibling is the little diplomat because most of my siblings don't talk to me. Interestingly enough, most of my siblings don't talk to me. And I used to think that there was something wrong with me when when I would give that a lot of thought. That I used to think that there was something wrong with me when my siblings wouldn't talk to me, but I don't anymore. I don't, because I'm not going to say that I don't care, but I just don't let it bother me. Anyway, so I'm driving down the road yesterday, and I'm listening coming home from Costco. I'm listening to Joel Osteen, message number 540. You got to listen to it, even if you don't believe in God, even if you don't like Joel Osteen. Go to joelosteen.com and that's Osteen, I believe, joelosteen.com. Up on the top, click on Messages, and then you can search the messages. Search in message 540, 540, and I think it's called Run Your Own Race or something like that. But listen to message 540. And you can fast forward up to about 20 minutes, I think maybe 18 minutes or something. And here's the juxt of the message. I happen to cue it up. Okay, listen to this. Maybe you can hear it. Let's see. Hopefully you can hear it.
Friends, your time is too valuable to go around trying to figure out how to keep everybody happy. I know people that spend more time worrying about what people are going to think about them than they do pursuing their own dreams, their own goals. You got to break free from that. If you're going to do anything great in life, if you're going to be a great business person, a great teacher, a great parent, not everybody is going to cheer you on. I'd love to tell you that all your family, friends, co-workers will celebrate you, but that's not the case. Some people can't handle your success. If you were where you were 10 years ago, they'd have no problem with you. But as you succeed, as God pours out his favor, somebody will get jealous. Somebody will start finding fault. Don't be surprised if a family member, a relative, tries to belittle you, discredit you. A friend you've been good to for years all of a sudden won't speak to you.
So, it's interesting with that message because when I was in my 20s, I was an irresponsible, partying type of a guy, and I think that a lot of my family kind of looked at me in that period and thought, oh, look at Tom, he's a loser, he's a partier, he's no college education, and they liked me right where I was. And then when I was about 29, I found God. And my life started going like this. And it got me to where I'm at today. And you know what? I think it's the majority. I'm not going to say every situation with my family member, but the majority of the situations with those that don't like me. They don't like me because they're jealous. They don't like me because they don't like how their life turned out. And they're living a life full of regret. And I don't have time to deal with people like that. I wish them the best. I hope that they find happiness. Now that's not to say, mind you, let's clarify something. That's not to say that I am an angel, mind you, because I've done my share of instigation, and I've done my share of stuff to ruffle people's feathers. But you know what? When I do something like that, oftentimes if I'm in the wrong, I'm quick to acknowledge that. And that's all I can do is acknowledge it. I have one sibling in particular that I had a fairly decent relationship with all of my life. All of my life I had a fairly decent relationship with this one sibling. And then I made one mistake. And it wasn't even that big of a mistake. But I made one mistake. And I acknowledged that, and I apologized for it. But yet to this day, that one sibling, still feels the need to separate himself from my life, and that's okay. That's okay if that's what this particular sibling wants to do. But I've dealt with this kind of stuff throughout my lifetime. It's interesting because I can remember when there was a day, I can remember when there was a day when I was in the military. That was tough. Dealing with unhappy dealing with unhappy, jealous people when they're in control of you, then then that's a real challenge. Sergeant Nathaniel Parrish, boy, I could tell you stories about Sergeant Parrish and I. It was interesting. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I was kicked out of the Army. I was in a 36-month enlistment, 36 months, 3 years, and I was kicked out after 33. After 33 months, It was a chapter 13. You know what a chapter 13 was? Unable to adapt to military lifestyle. And when my sergeant filed the papers, you have to go to the lawyer, and the lawyer sat there and was looking at my stack of papers like this, and she's going through all these papers, and she sat there for about 2 minutes just flipping paper after paper after paper. And she got to about halfway through the stack, and she said, Private Hall, she goes, I don't understand something. She goes, every paper in this stack is from the same guy. And I said, oh, I know. I said, ma'am, that's what you call her. I said, ma'am, this guy doesn't like me. And she said, well, how can he say that after 33 months of a 36-month enlistment, you can't adapt to military lifestyle? How is that possible? And I said, I don't know. And she said, well, I can throw all this in the garbage and just send you back to your unit and let you finish your enlistment. And I said, ma'am, wait, don't do that. I said, will I still get my benefits? And she said, oh yeah, you'll get your VA loan, you'll get your VA health care for the rest of your life. I said, push the papers through, ma'am. And I said, what about the honorary discharge? And she said, well, if you keep your nose clean for 6 months when you get out, you'll have an honorary discharge. And I did. Within 5 days, I was out of the military and rid of Sergeant Parrish. But no, all my life, I've had to deal with people that are jealous of me, envious of me, and what have you, and they can disguise their unhealthy emotions however they wish to do so. But I'm not going to let it keep me from achieving the great things that I intend to achieve, and take away from the great things that I have achieved in my life. So as far as those people out there, screw them. Just absolutely screw them. Don't let people. For those of you out there, for those young skullfuls of mush, don't listen to what other people say about you. Just believe in yourself. Don't go through life letting other people stop you from reaching your dreams and what have you. The pillow knows the truth. At the end of the day, when you lie your head down on your pillow, it knows the truth, meaning that within you is a conscience. And as long as you're good with that conscience within you, then just keep moving forward and take the SMS. I was thinking SMS could stand for small-minded siblings. SMS is a acronym, I think, for simple message, something or another, for texting, But SMS, for me now, SMS stands for small-minded siblings. And God knows I've got enough of them, small-minded siblings. So just screw people like that, Let them go through their mediocre lives, and wish them the best. You got to wish them the best, but and hope for the best. Never wish harm upon somebody. Never wish never wish bad things for somebody. Never take joy in somebody else's misfortune, or take joy in bad things happening to other people. Just love everybody and realize that you're not going to make everybody happy. Not everybody's going to love you, and just run your own race, like Joel says. And you know what? Joel is coming to Miami. Joel's coming to Miami. I was on his website looking up Message 540. Go out and listen to it. Go out and listen to Message 540. Okay, and tell me what you think. Go to about the number. I think it's about. I queued it up to about the 20-minute mark. But anyway, so that's that. And what was the question yesterday? Was it who would you like to have dinner with? No, I don't remember. But anyway, let's see if I can pull a question out for today. Um, sure. Okay. Would you be willing? No, I don't want to do that one. Let's do if you could go back in time to any era or period and not return, what era would you like to go back to? Go back in time to what era? And boy, I'd have to think about that one. If I were going to go back, would it be the 1700s or, the roaring 1920s, maybe, something like that. But I'm not quite sure. I'd have to give that some of my thought. I'd have to give that some thought. But anyway, it's Sunday morning. I got to get on with my day. I'll make that a nice breakfast today. I'm looking through my recipes here. The best breakfast and brunch recipes. And bringing back monkey bread. Maybe that's what I'll make today. Bringing back monkey bread. I think I'm going to surprise the coffee club tomorrow morning. The coffee club are these folks that gather every morning down at the cafe here in Wimpyville, and wonderful, wonderful people, with the exception of one. But anyway, maybe I'll surprise them with some monkey bread tomorrow. Anyway, have a great day, okay?